For centuries, the waters between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico have inspired fear, fascination, and speculation. Sailors once whispered legends of ghost ships drifting with no crew aboard. Pilots have reported instruments spinning wildly, even on clear, calm days. And researchers have spent decades collecting stories that governments insist are coincidences. The Bermuda Triangle covers approximately 500,000 square miles, yet it remains one of the most treacherous and least understood regions of the Atlantic. Despite modern navigation technology, satellites, and advanced communication systems, disappearances inside the triangle continue at a rate far above statistical expectation. Early explorers described strange mists rolling across the deck, compasses locking onto invisible magnetic norths, and moments of complete silence where even the waves seemed to stop. They believed the triangle was cursed, a place where the laws of nature bent or even broke. In modern times, the legend became global. Books, documentaries, and investigative reports attempted to explain its mysteries. Some blamed storms, others blamed piracy, and many dismissed the triangle as a myth. But behind the scenes, aviation and naval authorities quietly collected thousands of pages of reports, many never released to the public. So what's really happening here? Why do so many vanish without a trace? And why has the triangle remained one of the most heavily studied, yet least understood areas on Earth? Long before the modern era of aviation, troubling patterns emerged. In the 1800s, merchant ships would leave European ports, pass through the triangle, and never arrive. When wreckage was found, cargo remained untouched, and meals sat half-eaten on tables, but crews were gone. There were no signs of storms, no signs of struggle, and no logical explanation. One of the earliest documented cases was the Ozali, discovered drifting without a single person on board. Everything was intact from cargo to sails. The sea was calm, the weather was clear, but the entire crew had vanished. Another case involved the Ellen Austin, which encountered a mysterious derelict ship in 1881. The Austin assigned a crew to bring the vessel back to port, but within days, the empty ship vanished again. When it was eventually found, once more the replacement crew had disappeared. As these stories accumulated, sailors began adjusting their routes to avoid the triangle altogether. Yet governments insisted nothing was unusual. Official reports labeled vanishings as unexplained, but internal correspondence often mentioned compass issues, sudden fog, or electromagnetic disturbances. These early cases established the foundation of the Bermuda Triangle mystery: no bodies, no debris, and no clear cause, just silence. The most famous disappearance occurred in 1945, Flight 19. 5 U.S. Navy Avenger bombers left Fort Lauderdale on a routine training mission. The weather was calm, the pilots were experienced. Yet less than an hour into the flight, something went wrong. Radio operators heard confusion in the pilots' voices. Their compasses were malfunctioning. They were flying in circles. They couldn't see the sun or horizon. One pilot reported, "Everything looks strange, even the ocean." Then their radios faded. The Navy sent a massive rescue mission, including a search aircraft that also disappeared. Not a single piece of debris from the 6 lost aircraft was ever recovered. The official Navy statement: the planes disappeared as if they had flown to Mars. But behind closed doors, internal memos described instrument malfunction consistent with electromagnetic interference, a phrase repeated in several restricted files from the 1940s and 50s. Flight 19 was not the only military loss. Over the decades, naval vessels, training aircraft, and even submarines reported strange electronic failures, compass spinning, and sudden communication blackouts before vanishing or barely returning. The military publicly denied anything unusual. Privately, the data told a different story. In 1918, the USS Cyclops, a massive U.S. Navy collier, left Barbados bound for Baltimore with over 300 people on board. It never arrived. No distress call was recorded. No wreckage was found. No storm was present. Experts were baffled. The Cyclops remains the largest non-combat naval loss in American history. I was scheduled to sail on that voyage. A fever kept me docked in Barbados. My replacement, a young seaman named Thomas, took my place. He sailed with her. He didn't come back. Decades later, Navy reports revealed that magnetic interference was detected along the Cyclops' final known route, a detail omitted from public statements. In 1941, two of the Cyclops' sister ships, the Proteus and Nereus, also vanished in the triangle under similarly calm conditions. Then came the disappearance of the Marine Sulphur Queen in 1963, a 524-foot tanker that vanished with 39 crew members. Investigators found life preservers and oil drums, but the ship itself was gone. These enormous vessels were too large to simply sink without leaving debris. The lack of wreckage challenged even the most conservative experts. Scientists argued that methane gas eruptions might cause rapid sinking, but this does not explain the absence of bodies, radio calls, or floating debris. The disappearances of these giants added a chilling layer to the mystery. Size offers no protection. One of the most fascinating phenomena reported in the triangle is the so-called electronic fog. Pilots describe a strange, swirling mist that clings to aircraft like static electricity. Instruments flicker, radios fail. Navigation goes haywire. In 1970, pilot Bruce Gernon encountered this fog. He described flying into a cloud shaped like a giant tunnel. Inside, flashes of light rippled around him. His aircraft's instruments spun out of control. When he exited the fog, he was somehow dozens of miles ahead of his expected position, completing a flight that should have taken over an hour in just minutes. Radar confirmed the impossible jump. Meteorologists have no explanation. Theoretical physicists proposed the possibility of microvortexes or temporary distortions in time and space. Others suggested a rare form of plasma cloud capable of disrupting electronics. Regardless of the cause, the number of similar pilot reports is too high to ignore. Something in this region interferes with reality as we know it. For decades, the U.S. government maintained that the Bermuda Triangle is no more dangerous than any other ocean area. Official statements insist that disappearances are due to storms, navigation errors, or mechanical failures. But declassified documents tell a different story. Thousands of pages related to naval missions in the Triangle remain heavily redacted. Entire sections discussing anomalous readings, sudden equipment failures, and unexplained radar blips are blacked out. Some pilots reported being instructed not to discuss malfunctions they experienced. Navy personnel admitted off-record that many incidents were classified to prevent public panic. The more the government denies the Triangle's mysteries, the more suspicion grows that something is being hidden. Throughout the 20th century, sailors and pilots repeatedly reported strange lights beneath the ocean surface or hovering above the water. These lights moved too quickly to be aircraft and too intelligently to be natural phenomena. Some witnesses described glowing spheres emerging from the water and shooting into the sky. Others saw unidentified objects following ships for miles before vanishing. The U.S. Navy has quietly documented USOs, unidentified submerged objects, in the Triangle. Unlike UFOs, these objects move underwater at impossible speeds. Whether these lights represent unknown natural phenomena, advanced technology, or something else entirely, their presence adds another layer to the Triangle's enigmatic reputation. Despite the disappearances, some have survived Triangle encounters, and their stories are chillingly consistent. A cargo ship captain reported sailing into a strange patch of water where the sea turned glassy smooth and the sky darkened without clouds. His compasses spun wildly, and the radios emitted nothing but static. For minutes, the ship felt suspended in place, until suddenly, everything returned to normal. A private pilot described seeing waves of distortion in the air ahead of him, like heat shimmer. When he flew through it, his altimeter dropped 1,000 feet in seconds without the plane actually descending. Another sailor reported time loss. A journey that should have taken 8 hours took only 3. With no logical explanation. These testimonies from people with no reason to lie paint a consistent picture. Something active and unpredictable exists within the Triangle. Many believe the Bermuda Triangle is only a historical phenomenon, but disappearances continue even today. In 2020, a small private aircraft vanished from radar inside the Triangle. No emergency signal was sent. No wreckage was found. In 2023, a luxury yacht was found drifting, its engines running, but the crew missing. GPS blackouts have increased in frequency in the region, with pilots reporting sudden loss of signal for minutes at a time. Despite advances in satellite tracking and aviation technology, the Triangle's mysteries persist. If anything, modern data raises more questions than answers. Skeptics claim the Bermuda Triangle is exaggerated, blaming storms, human error, or poor maintenance for the disappearances. But these debunkings often ignore the facts. Many vanishings occurred under perfect weather. Ships disappeared without sending distress calls. Aircraft vanished with no mechanical issues. Large vessels left zero debris. Government files remained classified. Even insurance companies once charged higher rates for ships traveling through the region, something they would not do without statistical justification. Dismissing the Triangle oversimplifies a problem that involves physics, geology, meteorology, and possibly phenomena we have yet to understand. Scientists have proposed multiple theories to explain the Triangle's mysteries. Each covers part of the puzzle, but none explain everything. Geomagnetic anomalies. Shifting magnetic fields distort navigation and confuse pilots. 2. Underwater methane eruptions, gas releases, reduce buoyancy, and sink ships instantly. 3. Rogue waves, gigantic waves capable of swallowing vessels without warning. 4. Electronic fog, rare plasma clouds that disrupt instruments and warp perception. 5. Undersea topography, deep trenches and caverns swallow wreckage permanently. Most likely, the Triangle is not caused by one phenomenon, but by a dangerous combination of many. Declassified military files confirm that the Navy has monitored strange activity in the Bermuda Triangle for decades. Radar anomalies, unidentified underwater objects, electromagnetic spikes, and unexpected communication failures appear repeatedly in internal logs. Former Navy personnel have stated that certain missions in the Triangle were classified due to technological irregularities. Some hinted at research into magnetic instability in the region. Others suggested the presence of underwater installations or advanced testing programs. While the Navy officially denies any mystery, the sheer volume of redacted documents raises the question: are they protecting the public or protecting a secret? After a century of disappearances, eyewitness accounts, classified documents, and scientific research, one truth becomes clear. The Bermuda Triangle is not a myth. It is a region where natural forces converge in dangerous, unpredictable ways. Magnetic anomalies, deep-sea disturbances, unknown atmospheric conditions, and possibly phenomena we cannot yet explain all play a role. Governments continue to downplay the mystery. But the evidence, the vanishings, the black box data, the military logs, suggests there is far more happening in the Triangle than we've been told. In the end, the Bermuda Triangle remains one of Earth's last great mysteries, a place where ships vanish into silence, where time bends, and where the ocean holds secrets civilization still cannot unlock. And until the truth is fully revealed, the Bermuda Triangle will remain a place they don't want you to know about.